Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I'm going to showcase a 1-bar Oakensoul build for the Magicka Nightblade. This build is capable of pulling over 85k on the parse dummy. This build is not a solo build and is optimized for group content. I will be using mythics and trial gear, so this is not a super beginner friendly build, but rather more for endgame players who prefer 1-bar builds. Keep in mind that this build is set up with trial gear, but there will be a gear alternative section to mix and match whatever sets you may have access to. With that being said, here's the build. Starting off in the character sheet, I have 64 points in a Magicka, and I'm running the Thief Mundus. For the race, I'm a High Elf. I think High Elves have some of the best passives for Magicka DPS. For the food, we're going to be opting to run Clockwork Citrus Fillet for any hard content. A cheaper and easier to acquire alternative would be Witch Mother's Potent Brew, and lastly, if you're parsing or need more sustain, then Ghastly Eyeball is always the go-to. For the potions, since we're using Oakensoul, we just opt to use Essence of Magicka. Keep in mind that we do not need to use Essence of Spell Power because Oakensoul provides major sorcery and major prophecy for us, so we can just opt to use that instead. Another good option is using Tri-Stat potions because they'll give us health and stamina as well, so that's another option to consider. So for the CP, for the blue tree, we're going to be running Exploiter, Master at Arms, Deadly Aim, and Wrathful Strikes. For the red tree, Rejuvenation, everything else is personal preference or content specific. For the gear, we're going to be running 5 pieces of Pillar Nern paired with 5 pieces of Whirl of Depths and 1 piece Oakensoul and 1 piece Slime Crawl. So breaking down in the main hand, we have a Pillar Nern Dagger in Nernhone with a flame damage enchant, and the offhand charge with a poison damage enchant. For the head, we have 1 piece of Slime Crawl in medium, traded in Divines with a max mag enchant. For 1 piece of the body, we have Pillar Nern. This is going to be in Divines with a max mag enchant. For the rest of the body, we have 5 pieces of Whirl of Depths, all traded in Divines with max mag enchants. And for the jewelry, we have 2 pieces of Pillar Nern jewelry, both traded in Bloodthirsty with spell damage enchants. And lastly, the Oakensoul Ring, which is Bloodthirsty with a spell damage enchant as well. For the skills, we're going to be running Merciless Resolve, Concealed Weapon, Impale, Twisting Path, Deadly Cloak, and Incapacitating Strike. For the rotation, we're going to be prioritizing our Merciless Resolve, so cast it at 4 or 5 stacks for your Spectral Bow proc. Keep up Twisting Path and Deadly Cloak, your 2 dots dynamically, and then your spammable is going to be Concealed Weapon. And at 25%, start using Impale instead of Concealed Weapon because it's your execute. And whenever your ultimate incap is ready, just try to time that when all your dots are down so you can just go straight into a spammable phase. So for closing thoughts, first up, your flex spot is probably going to be Deadly Cloak, so you can swap that out for whatever skill you may need depending on the situation. And if you want to go fully at range, you could just drop the daggers, go Inferno Staff, and then swap out Deadly Cloak for something like Unstable Wall, and then change your spammable from Concealed Weapon to something like Ellie Weapon or Force Pulse, and you should be good to go. So for gear alternatives, instead of running Whirl and Pillar, you can opt to run different sets. Some good sets would be Bosse is still good if you can control your Magicka. Sororia is really strong still if you don't mind being semi-stationary. Advancing Okada can work if you're using daggers. Coral Riptide and Reliquant for a hybrid build wouldn't be a bad idea either. If you are going to opt to use Coral Riptide, you're going to have to figure out a way to burn your stamina, which may be possible on some builds but not on others. Aegis Collar is also a really good AoE set. It's not as hard hitting as Reliquant, but it is still a good option. And lastly, if you want a super budget build, then Order's Wrath and Julianos would be a perfect fit. And that wraps up the build explanation section of this portion. As always, thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Or better yet, come join our Discord. Link is in the description. As a reminder, if this video helped in any way, please help the channel grow by subscribing and liking the video. I will also have a written guide in the description for those who would prefer that. And lastly, I've also started a channel membership for those who like to go the extra step to help support me so I can focus on more content creation. And as always, feel free to stick around for the attached parse. If not, have a good day and see you in the next one.